In this video, I'm gonna walk you through how to create the zipper pouch. It's a great size to serve as a pencil case and to be used as a sunglasses or eyeglasses pouch. Also in this video, I'm gonna show you how to install a zipper pull on a zipper tape. A lot of people get nervous about the installation of a zipper pull on a zipper tape, but I'm assure you it's easier than you think. Just follow my instruction and take your time and you're gonna be just fine. This pattern is available in my Etsy store as a instant download. You're gonna be able to print all the needed printable pattern pieces on your household printer. The link to the pattern is in the description box below. You can also join my Facebook group to get notification of any upcoming new patterns and special offers, discounts on my patterns. The link to the Facebook group is in the description box below. If you like this video and you enjoy my tutorials, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Let's get started. To start our project, we will have to prep our needed cut pieces and supplies. The PDF pattern will include a printable pattern pieces that can be printed on a household printer. It will have 2 outside panels and one lining panel. For the outside, we would need an accent fabric, which I already cut. You will also have the outline of the interfacing, which I already applied to my accent panel. Since I'm using quilting cotton and it's a pretty thin material, you want to interface it. For the second panel, I'm using waterproof canvas, and since it's a little bit of a thicker and more stiffer material, I'm not going to interface it. But if you want to use 2 cotton panels, you will just interface both. Just make sure you cut the interfacing on mirror, meaning you cut one piece this way, you flip the pattern piece and cut another piece of interfacing. So you will have 2 interfacing panels that will match each of the outside panels. Then we're gonna have the lining, and I'm just gonna use my pouch as a pencil pouch, so I'm not gonna interface it. But if you are planning on using it as a sunglasses or eyeglasses pouch, I would suggest to interface the lining with the fusible fleece to give it a little more cushion. You would also need a piece of quilting cotton as our bias tape. It's not really cut on the bias, so you will cut that to the measurements provided, and a piece of zipper. And this is just one side of a zipper tape, so you have to cut a full length piece and then split the tape. This piece had to be at least 22 inches, or it could be a little longer to give yourself a little wiggle room. You will also need a small piece of vinyl or cork for our little tab, a zipper pull, a clasp. You can use a swivel clasp or a spring-loaded O-ring, or even you can add a D-ring and create a wristlet strap if that's something you prefer. I'm going to be using a polyester thread that is in coordinating colors, and a set of rivets. My rivets are 9 millimeters, but you can use something that it's a little smaller. It's going to be fine. So those are all our pattern pieces and supplies. We're gonna start with connecting our outside panels. So make sure you have your panels or the one panel interfaced, and you're gonna clip them together along the long straight edge, right sides together, and you're gonna take it to the machine and you're gonna sew along with the 3/8 seam allowance. After that's done, open the panels flat, take it to the ironing board and butterfly the seam open on both sides and press well. Just be careful if you're using waterproof canvas, because the wrong side of the canvas, it's a rubbery surface, so make sure you're not going to be pressing directly on the waterproof canvas. Try pressing from the right side. If you are using a fabric that is not easily pressable, it doesn't iron well, you can top stitch the seam on both sides after your seam is open inside. This will ensure that the seam stays nice and flat inside of your pouch. Now that we have our outer panel prepped, we can start attaching our zipper. You're gonna find the midpoint of the zipper and having it right side down, so the teeth side is together with the right side of your project. Start pinning the zipper tape all around your outer panel. The good tip is to clip the tape of the zipper where we have our rounded edge. Don't snip it all the way through, just snip it around 1/4 of an inch deep, every 1/4 of an inch. That's enough. This way, when you pinning your tape, it will lie nicer along the edge of the fabric. So do that and continue on both sides. And I prefer pinning the zipper instead of clipping it with the clips, because when you are careful enough, you can take it to your machine, and when you sew it, you can actually leave the pins inside your project, just making sure your needle is not hitting them. And this will hold your zipper in place, and there's no need to remove the pins while you're sewing, so it's not gonna shift. So try doing that. If you don't have pins, just use your clips, or you can also use double-sided tape to help with the zipper staying in place while you sew. So let's prep our zipper now. After your zipper is pinned all around the pouch, take it to the machine and base it with the 1/8 seam allowance. And now that the zipper is based to our outer panel, we're gonna attach the lining. Make sure that if you are going to use this pouch as an eyeglass pouch, to interface the lining with a fusible fleece to give it more cushion. Otherwise, find the middle point of the lining and start pinning the lining along the zipper tape where the zipper tape is based. Just match your midpoints, take your pin and pin the lining all along this edge. If you need to, just push the zipper tape flat against the outer panel. Now that you have your panels pinned together, take it to the machine and sew along that edge with the 1/4 or 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, wherever is more comfortable for you. Backstitch on the end and on the beginning of the seam. Now that we sewed in the lining to our pouch, before we turn the project right side out, we want to clip the seam allowances around the rounded parts. That would help with the seam allowances lying nicer, folding nicer inside our pouch. So do that on both rounded corners. After that's done, turn the project right side out and press it with the iron. Just be careful not to overpress the waterproof canvas. After the project is pressed, take it to the machine and top stitch along the zipper tape with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length. Now that our unit is top stitched along the zipper, I'm gonna attach the zipper pull, and this is where I'm gonna show you my tricks, because I know a lot of people are uncomfortable sewing with the splitted zipper tape, but it's really not that difficult if you're gonna take your time and prep your zipper ends properly. So the first thing you need to make sure is that your zipper tape is melted and sealed when you cut it. Don't have any fraying ends. That's gonna just get in the way of the pull. Then if you're still having difficulties, make sure that those little ends of the tape right by the zipper tape are also attached and are not pulling out of the tape. Then you just align the ends of the tape, take your zipper pull and slide it on one end of the zipper. I like to have it on the left side. When you have it around halfway through, slide the other end of the zipper tape and they should be aligning nicely. Then you want to start pulling. Actually, you don't want to pull, you want to push the zipper onto the tape. Don't try to pull it with the pull itself. Just try to gently push it on. If you're still having difficulties putting the zipper pull on, it's usually because the zipper pull is a little too tight. So what you can do, you take some kind of tool and try to split those little components apart a tiny bit. Don't split it all the way, don't open it, just try to loosen it up a little bit. Try to put your zipper pull on, and that should really be everything that it's needed to easily put the zipper pull on. And if you don't feel comfortable, just use a scrap of a zipper tape and some zipper pull and just practice and see what works best for you. As you can see, it's pretty easy for me, but it didn't happen overnight. I did struggle with putting the zipper pulls on, but now it's just my preferred way. Once you start sewing with a splitted zipper tape, that's gonna be your way to go. You're never gonna try to sew in a zipper with the zipper pull already on, trying to move the zipper pull back and forth when you're sewing along. It's so much easier to just sew the zipper tape on and then put the zipper pull on the sewed in zipper. So I hope that was helpful. As you can see, my zipper was pretty easy to install, and after I installed my zipper pull, I just want to make sure that it meets in the middle. I see that it's a little bit off, so I'm just gonna adjust this. So yeah, it has to be, and you can see here too. So my zipper length is a little off, so I just have to pull the right side up a little bit, not a problem. And now it's perfect. So after you have your zipper pull on your zipper, you want to flatten your case, because that's how we're gonna be finishing it up. Now you can trim the extra zipper tape. Also, you want to make sure that all your layers are the same length, so I would trim that also. I don't want to be cutting my zipper with my fabric scissors, so I'm just gonna trim it a little more. And then trim my fabric, just making sure everything aligns nicely and it's in the middle. The zipper tape is in the middle of my back seam. So now that you have your pouch prepped like this, pin it together and take it to the machine and baste that open end, and baste it with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. So we baste our raw edges together to form the shape of our pouch. Now what we want to do, we want to cover the raw edges with our bias tape. So find the midpoint of the bias tape and align it with the middle of the zipper tape. We want to make sure that we have around 3/4, half an inch overhang of the bias tape on each end, and the bias tape should be right sides together with our outer panel. So clip that in place, take it to the machine and sew it along the edge with the 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, backstitch on both ends. Our bias tape is attached to our top of our pouch. What we want to do now, we want to fold that over, flip it to the other side, fold the ends so it covers our edges. You can use clips to secure that. And you're gonna fold the tape over in half and again over the open edge of our pouch. This way we're gonna create a nice clean cover for our exposed edge. If you are comfortable, you can go into a sewing machine, making sure that the edges of the tape align on both sides, and just top stitch it along the attached edge with the 1/16 of an inch seam allowance. I prefer the look of a hand sewn tape, so that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. So you're gonna take a piece of thread, the same thread you've been using for the project, and starting with you're gonna insert the needle inside, so your knot that you tied on the end of the thread will be hidden inside. So you want to do that, and you're gonna pull that through, and then you want to catch the outside edge of the tape and put the needle inside about 2 to 3 millimeters. And where the thread comes out, you're gonna go back to the bottom layer and do the same. And when you put the thread, you will have a nice cover edge. So we're just going in the same place on the outer edge of the tape, and that's what we're gonna do all the way around. So this way you have a nicely finished bias tape on both sides, and because it's such a short length, it doesn't really take that much time, but I think it gives a nice professional look. So I would give it a try. To knot the other end of the thread, just make a small knot on the end by creating a loop and pulling the thread twice through the loop. Pull it, and then we wanna secure the thread inside our tape. So you can push the needle so it comes out inside of your pouch. Nicely pull your corner, making sure it looks nice and the knot is not showing, and just trim the thread. So now your pouch is nicely finished. And so if you want to, you can also add the tab to be able to attach the pouch to your purse or to your backpack. Or if you are okay with the pouch the way it is, then you are finished with your project. But now I'm gonna show you how to create the little tab. I cut the piece of vinyl. It's 6 inches by 1/2 inch, and I'm gonna use a double-sided tape. You need to place the tape around 1/2 inch from this edge, the short edge, and up to the 3-inch mark, which is the half mark. Remove the backing of the tape, fold the short end inside, and then fold the rest of the strap on it. This way you will get a strap that won't have any raw edges on the ends. Now when you have that prepped, take it to the machine and top stitch all around with the 1/8 of a seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length. Now that you have your top prepped, and the little cut will be actually inside it, so you will never see it, you're gonna attach it with the rivet. First, you're gonna fold the top in half and measure around 3/8 of an inch and punch a hole through those both layers in the center, but 3/8 away from the edge. So we want to make sure that our hole is punched all the way through on both ends. So now we have our strap ready. If you're using a swivel clasp like I am this time around, or if you want to insert a D-ring, do it right now. Then we're gonna measure around 1/2 inch from the top of our lining in the middle. So we want to punch a hole here. Making sure it's in the middle of our outer panel. And we're gonna make sure that our clasp is on. Thread the rivet through the first layer, then thread it through the hole in the pouch, then thread it again through the other end of the tab and secure it with the rivet, and then take it to your rivet press and press it. And just like that, you have your tab secured. Now your pouch is completed. You can use it as a eyeglasses or sunglasses pouch, or as a pencil pouch. You can attach it to your backpack or attach it to your purse. I think it's really handy, and it's a really nice, relatively quick project to share with your family and friends. I hope you liked this tutorial. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you next time when creating more of my projects.